That's no moon, it's my head, because I am a bald git. Welcome to Ryan Speaks Geek. On today, I'm going to be talking about some great Star Wars stuff from the next 17. Hello, yes, welcome back. It has been a while, as it always is with me. However, today I'm going to jump straight back into it, where I left off. Next 17 has been one of the most consistent custom creators there is, making factory-made Star Wars figures of amazing quality. It hasn't stopped. The first figure was the Ethan Mon figure, which is, as you know, one of my favourites, and it still looks fantastic. It still has that kind of aesthetic, and it's one of my favourites. We know this. However, he was not the only big bod in Jabba's palace, and if you've done one big bod, you got to do another, right? So we have got Hermi Odle. We finally have a Hermi Odle in vintage form, and he looks fantastic. Now, people are asking, is this the first time Hermi Odle's been made? No, Hermi Odle was actually made in 2007 by Hasbro, like in the fully articulated form, as you can see. Looks great. 2007, it was the 30th anniversary line. They came with the coins. I've got the coin somewhere. I got rid of the figure ages ago because I stopped collecting sort of modern stuff and just more vintage, unless I can make it vintage somehow. But I don't need to, because now I've got one, an actual Hermi Odle vintage figure. And I absolutely love this. So the species he is a Baragwin. I didn't know this was a thing, a Baragwin. I hope I'm saying that right. Any Baragwinians in the audience watching this, if I've said it wrong, I do apologise. He was portrayed by the mime artist Phil Herbert. I keep looking down because I made notes for once. I don't normally make notes. I've made some notes. Yeah, Phil Herbert is the mime artist in the giant costume. As you can see, the giant costume is insane. This is in a scene in Return of the Jedi. I think it's... I'll put the screen grab up here, so if I remember correctly, it matches up. It was when we're looking at Han and Carbonite, we see him then. But he has always been one of those fascinating big characters that I've always loved in Jabba's Palace, going through like the visual dictionary and things like that, trying to find out who the backgrounds are. Star Wars official magazine. I went through the Star Wars Essential Guide to Characters. He's not in there. Ethan Mon is, but not this guy. He's just awesome. I absolutely love the design on this. He comes with his staff. It is a really well molded look. It's got like the diamond type thing in the top there. It's so Kennery, even right down to like the brush marks almost in it, and like the very standard wooden things. It wouldn't look out of place in the Ewok village, weirdly. But that's just great, and it just slots right in his hand, which I really love. Articulation is the arms and the legs. So the legs have gone for like the Wampa Ewok style angled tilt rather than straightforward, which I kind of like, because it makes it just a bit more of a character. I don't think I'll ever have him sitting, to be honest. I think I'm always going to have him standing. Colour-wise, really love what they've done here in the next 17 with the dark green, sort of emeraldy green type boots. They've moulded the cloak in, so similar to what we had with Ethan. That looks really good. And obviously, this is his not undergarments, but, the garment under his robe. Face-wise, he's got that giant tongue sticking out, which I absolutely love. He's got two small, beady, distrustful eyes. But this is the great thing about this figure and the character. It's such an uneven-looking character that you kind of have to see him to believe that he was really in it, because he's so weird. But it's one of the things I love about Star Wars, is all the crazy creatures. But yeah, I am absolutely just blown away by the quality and just the way this looks. I'm so happy to have Ethan's giant pal, for them together again, because I mean they just look good, so good next to each other as well. Like it's a match made in heaven, and it's just nice to have some big figs. I'm a big fan of big figs. But then we go to the other side of the scale, because this isn't the only Jabba's Palace extra that we've got. We've also got the slugs. So if I show you the slug, here he is. You're thinking, like, where have I seen this guy before? So this is pronounced Goel, I think. Goel. Ghoel. Goel. He is a Wol... I can't believe I'm saying this. A Wol Cabashite. Wol Cabashite. That's the species. He is seen in the palace, and he's up, like, on one of the alcoves, and his tongue's sticking out. It's like going like, which is really cool. This is a non-articulated figure, so this is more like a sort of statue, almost like an accessory, but with character, which I really like. So I like what you have with like a mouse droid, for example, similar kind of concept. The sculpting is really lovely on this, and the eyes, and it's got a lot of character for something that's not really like a full-fledged character as such, but like it's got a lot of life to it because of the clever molding. So it is, like I said, unarticulated. We have seen one from Hasbro once before, and just referring to one's notes again, it was the 2004, it was Jabba Court Denzian's pack, which is here. He was in with the Bomar Monk Droid and Bubbo, and it's interesting because this one has like a little suction cup on it, which sort of takes it out of being the figure, because I get the logic of it, because you could suction cup it onto something, but I prefer it like this, because I do have this displayed in my Jabba's Palace sometimes. What I do is I just put a bit of blue tack, put him up, and then you can't see it, which is nice. Whereas the suction cup, he's always going to be a little bit away from the wall. But again, just love that we've got this. It's almost like Jabba Hutt Denzians or creatures if Kenner had actually made a little pack back in the day. Yeah, really, really big fan of that. And that's not all, because it's the Slugs and Warts pack. So the warts, looking around like, where have I put my warts? Warts, these are awesome, right? The rock warts. We've not had any toys of these whatsoever. No one has done these. And they are just these amazingly detailed little critters. The face sculpt is brilliant. They've got little painted eyes. You can see the individual limbs, some hair, some sort of fanning on the tail as well. Now, I originally had in my head that this is what Jabba ate when he's in the bowl, like this bit. And it's not. They are Klatooinian patty frogs. I'm just reading there, which we sort of had in Jabba Glob. Don't know if anyone remembered that, episode 1 treasure. I've still got some of those laying about from when I was a kid. But this is just awesome. I really thought this is what he ate. And so on that note, what I have done is, because you get one this size, the Papa and Mama sized wart, and then you get these really teeny tiny, 2 of these ones. Same level of detail, same apps, but tiny. And what's really good about them, I shall show you. So if we bring Jabba's throne up here, and yes, he has got a Next 17 cup, because I like the fact he can have the cup. So I've been putting them inside here as if they are Jabba's food. So that works like really, really well, as you can see. So it's nice to have some life in there. Maybe I'll put some like clear liquid. Let's just see how well potentially he holds one to have a munch. So here we go. He can eat it. Oh, I love that. I love that. So he can actually hold and eat the rock warts, but they're just good for littering around your Jabba's palace to sort of bring it to life a bit more. But the fact that, like I said, you got 2 super small ones that can fit inside the bowl, as well as the sort of Papa one, which I have been taking sort of blue tacking onto the front here, like that one there and then one down here. I just think it, again, adds a bit of like life to the Jabba's palace scenes. Now, here's an interesting thing about the Hermi Odle and the Slugs and the Warts. There are variations. The reason is, when Graham, who runs the Next 17, put the original order with the factory in, he got a very small amount, and the main shipping, like the main order, basically got completely railroaded from him and taken basically from a customs that held on to it and are just probably never going to release it. So he just lost all that stock. And so only a very small number of the original run actually went out. So hardly anyone has the original run. So normally, obviously, Next 17 does an exclusively limited amount, because obviously self-funded and a little bit from helping out on Patreon, which you can do. So there's not a lot of scope for getting more of them. However, Graham saw the demand, and because everyone was messaging saying, when's Hermi coming back, when's Hermi coming back, when's Hermi coming back, so Graham self-funded and basically got a brand new order. The interesting thing is, though, a bit like proper classic Kenner, there is a slight variations in colour. So I was very lucky. I was one of the people who did get the original run. And I also got the second run. So as you can see, one run has a slightly lighter in colour sort of scheme, especially on like the face and bit mainly. And the other has a slightly darker boot and a slightly darker face. Other than that, quality-wise, it's exactly the same. They're just as awesome as each other. The staffs are just as good. Everything is just as spot on. They both look awesome. I'm really glad to have both in my collection because it's like so many different Kenner figures, like the Bespin guards having so many variations. Han Solo, Lando Calrissian with the teeth, Tusken's hollow cheeks versus non-hollow cheeks. You know, there is a stupid amount. Like Leia with the Bespin Leia with the collar neck thing. So it makes it feel more Kenner, which makes me so much more excited. There is a proper Kennery type thing going on right now, where there is actually some slight variations, and it's not just Hermi. So, for example, the slugs are, don't know how well it will show on camera, they're ever so slightly different, but they are different in their colour schemes. Again, moulding is absolutely spot on, both identical on the same, but the paint schemes are just slightly different, so it gives us two, like a nice variation. There's two different ones. So I'm going to have to create a backstory. And it's not just that, the warts as well. Warts and all. Slight different colours. And that makes me so freaking happy, because it gives you that kind of almost old school Kenner looking for the variations online thing. Because maybe some people might sell theirs, maybe they won't. But I'm sitting there like that as if it's a moustache. Again, sculpting absolutely spot on, but both the same. So it just adds to that super Kenner vibe. Now, there is a lot of really exciting things going on for the next 17. We've got some new aliens coming out. We've got the Empire sort of wave coming out, which, you know, you can see online, you can pre-order. It's just all really, really, really exciting, because it's just, again, continuing the sort of awesome path that Next 17 has started us on with this vintage goodness. Even things like, for example, chunky boy sabers. So Next 17 lightsabers are good because they are not repro. They only have the buttons on one side, like a real lightsaber. But you know what I mean, an actual lightsaber. But the big boy sabers can be held by good old Hermi himself. So I may get another one to customize to make it in something else, unless we get a variation. That'd be cool. I wouldn't mind a variant of this mold, because the Ephant ones have been fantastic. So we've had like the Sith Ephant, the Tatooine one. There may be another one in the works. Who knows? Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, you just gotta go online and have a look. And also, like I said, go and check out the Patreon, because there are things revealed there that aren't revealed anywhere else until basically it's almost too late to order, or, you know, you've got like only a few days left, because you get that ability to order early if you're on the Patreon pages, which you wouldn't get if you were just a everyday customer. And it's only something like stupid, like a couple of quid a month. It's hardly anything, and for me it's worked out really well, because I was able to get that Hermi Odle Hermi early, like, you know, in the original run in that small batch, which has been awesome, because now I've got that sort of little secret bit of Next 17 legacy that's there, that sort of proper Kennery type variation, which just makes collecting so much fun. So yeah, I am blown away once again by the Next 17, who have been consistently delivering on like high-end, proper factory-made figures of characters that we love and want to see, and I cannot wait for the future of the Next 17. I will be reviewing them on these channels. I am still Ryan Speaks Geek, and I still will do videos as and when I actually get around to doing videos. But thank you very much for watching. So long, and until then, bye.